Very welcome to the Women's Rugby Pod, episode 162. I'm Johnnie Hammond.
And I'm Sadia Kabeya.
We've got a great show lined up for you this week, looking back at all WXV1 and in the company of a young Red Rose star, Maud Muir. Very, very good friend of Sadia Kabeya's.
Very, very good friend.
But first of all, and far more importantly, Sadia, how's this week's rehab gone?
Good. I started running this week. Well, I say running, plodding across the pitch, which has been nice. A load of hamstring strength and testing this week. So the hammies do feel like rocks, but in a good way. But it's been a really positive week so far.
And when you put back the date to sort of come back, is that purely a medical one, or is that you knowing your body as well? Is it done purely from a Red Rose perspective, or from Lightning? All of the above.
So it's led by England because I did it while I was with England, but it's definitely a joint effort with a lot of physios and England physios, but I think it's a bit of both. So they've given me a date, which is medically how long they think it's going to take, but obviously I know my body now, obviously having setbacks and knowing what it feels like when it's not going particularly well. I'm in a better place to know if I am ready to be back, but hoping that my body and the medical timeline agree, so I'll be back playing soon. And
did you get yourself up for the Red Roses against Blackferns? That's the question that's really
I did. My friend was staying over, so I felt like I needed to get up because because I feel like I need to watch it with her. So, and my mum, we watched it. Me, my friend, and my mum watched it all together. So, yeah, got up for the best game and last game of the tournament.
Nice. So you get up when you need to make a good impression on people, or when you have to watch it.
No, exactly.
Oh, the commitment. Look, so as I say, a brilliant show ahead of us. England victorious. Revenge before a World Cup final, redemption, or not in the same ballpark.
It's interesting you say that. I definitely think it will never be revenge until it's in a World Cup setting, if we do manage to meet again there. But definitely, mentally puts England in a very good place, having that win over them, since our last game was a loss in the World Cup. So yeah, I think not necessarily revenge, but it's always nice to beat New Zealand, definitely, and also in their backyard. So
100%, only the third time England have beat New Zealand on New Zealand soil, and I think those younger players as well, and you're obviously included in that the more times you beat someone, that obviously it's muscle memory, isn't it, about beating those players, and regularly playing them as well. But yeah, as we say, England rounded off WXV1 with a victory, 33 points to 12. It all started at the Mount Smart Stadium in Auckland on Friday, where Australia beat Wales 25 points to 19, and France were defeated on Saturday 29 points to 20 by Canada. Without further ado, let's get into that England-New Zealand game now.
We are joined by a very, very special guest today, England prop sensation and one of my really close pals, Maud Muir.
Woo.
No, we need more.
Oh,
woo!
Sorry.
From everybody.
Woo!
Thank you.
Woo! Put John in the woos. Maud, how are you?
I am good. Sorry, I did chuck out my cat, but she's come back. Sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah, I'm really good, thanks. Just got over jet lag, but yeah.
Where did you guys get back then?
6 a.m. Monday morning.
Very exact. Lovely.
Yeah, very exact.
And you did you manage to stay up all day Monday and then try and get back into the cycle pretty quick?
Yeah, had to fall asleep at like 7, but have kind of got back into the swings of things.
That's all right. And this week, fairly light?
Yeah, just got a
Physically?
couple of runs, couple gyms, but not back into full training until next week.
Awesome. Look, I like to talk about New Zealand and WXV kind of on a broader perspective in a moment or two, but you're the inaugural WXV1 champions. That sounds pretty good. By beating New Zealand in that final game on their home patch to complete an unbeaten season. It's just getting better and better the more I talk, isn't it?
Yeah, it is very cool. I think until that post came up, I didn't even realise that we'd like won all the games this year. But it is pretty cool.
And the game itself, I don't know what you thought, Sadia, but somebody said to me today they were very nervous watching. I said, why on earth were you nervous? From about the second or third minute, I personally felt Red Roses were in control and, yeah, certainly in control of the scoreboard, if not everything else from a very early stage. How did you see the game, Maud?
Obviously I was on the bench, and it's quite nerve-wracking being next to lots of people, I feel like, and we all chat away. But it did feel like we were in control, but you always know with the Black Ferns they can come back from any score. So yeah, I think we didn't want to get too ahead of ourselves, but it did feel like it felt good in the game. And
how did she play, Sadia?
She played great. Didn't you get a lovely scrum penalty? I'm watching it.
I did get a scrum penalty. Thanks, Sadia.
She is going to be gassed about that. I was watching it. I was like, go Maud! Well, I did call the score. I did say I think by at least 2 tries, England are going to be. It won't be a tight game. I was very confident in the Red Roses.
Nice, as you should be.
As I should.
What was the feeling like on the benches? You obviously came on in the World Cup final as well as that WXV1 final, let's call it that. Similar kind of feelings or far less pressure with WXV1 and the fact you still had 15 players on the field?
Yeah, I think it's really hard to like go back to the World Cup because it was like a bit of a blur. But I think coming off the bench, it felt more comfortable, and we weren't chasing, so it felt a bit more comfortable.
I felt there was a real dominance from the England pack. Did you? Is that what you saw, Sadia? And more, can you actually feel that when you're on the field?
Yeah, I definitely saw that. I mean, you know, I'm a bit biased coming from forward myself, and I'm normally watching what the forwards are doing. But yeah, every carry, it was always over the gain line. Shout out to Alex Matthews and Moena Talling. Those two were like great around the park, always getting on the ball, always making those extra meters. So yeah, I think the forwards really did such a great job on giving the backs a good platform to play off.
Yeah, definitely. And our set piece was very clinical, probably the most clinical it's been all season.
I'm going to say in the sort of debrief, what particular areas of England's game? Because again, for me, I think that the ceiling of the improvement that the Red Roses could actually make is additional. But in the debrief, no doubt you had a small debrief after a light sherry or two after the game. What were the areas where you particularly pleased? Where was Deeks particularly pleased?
It was kind of just general points. I think our confidence and our confidence to play with like a bit more expansive and trying new things. Even, you know, it was a hard game, but we still tried, you know, crossfield kicks, that sort of thing. We didn't just play it safe and we scored a few driving balls, but like it wasn't just like plain and simple. It was kind of just being a bit more like playing with different parts as well.
Can you see the expansion there, Sadia?
I mean, yeah, obviously I was in camp for the whole build up to WXC and could see the foundations that were being laid and the changes that we've had to our set piece and our game and strategies and the way that we're playing. But I think it's quite clear from a viewer's perspective as well that England are, you know, expanding from what everyone used to say, we're just like a set piece team or just a line out more driving team. So yeah, I think definitely it's good to watch, and it's also quite exciting to watch as well. So I think from you know, bringing new viewers in and for expanding the Red Rose fan base. I think it's really good as well.
I just think of the players that weren't involved. More, yeah, there's a good list. There's a good 5, almost 10 players that weren't available for the tour, including Sadia here. Embarrassment of riches. Outside of the rugby, Maud, what was your favourite part of visiting New Zealand this time?
Ooh. Again, we weren't able to like travel much, just because of our, like, Sards will agree, our very full timetable. Like, we didn't ever have we had maybe one full day off, and that was it throughout the whole tournament. We managed to go like to beaches and stuff, but for some reason, this is coming to my mind, is we went and stayed at, like, it was called like NZCIS, which was like the base camp for New Zealand sports, and oh my gosh, it was the best facilities I've ever been to. It was incredible. Like, if we had that in England, oh my gosh, it would be amazing. That was really cool to experience.
And you do like a bit of beach swimming, don't you?
I do love a bit of swimming. Yes.
Did you do that back here in the UK as well?
I mean, if I go to a trip to the sea, I will go into the sea, but I don't make many trips to the sea, if you get me.
You try to convince your father to go in as well. Poor chap. You look freezing.
Yeah, bless him. David was cold.
Good old David.
And who's best at beach cricket?
Oh, that's not a tricky answer.
Who is it then?
Obviously me.
And was it backs against forwards? How did the teams shape up?
Staff v players.
And this time, who won?
I think we were pretty good, to be fair. I think maybe the staff won once, and then we won all the other times.
And celebrations post beating New Zealand, did they get lively?
Yeah, we had a little boogie, little sing along, and then went back. We went to a pub, and then we ended up in this place where basically all the teams were, which was quite cool to see people that you'd played in previous weeks.
Nice. I've got about 5 questions off the back of that. Who's the DJ?
Just general DJing in the team.
Yeah. Who are your go-to people for music?
You're the DJ at the moment. Probably Mo is, but it did mix around a bit. But I think everyone gets scared of the pressure. Yeah.
Who's the best dancer? Who throws the best shapes out there?
I honestly think Daisy, actually, like, really shocking that she, like, obviously because she's new, and I loved it. She had so much confidence, and she can actually dance well. And she's cool. She's cool, and she knows all the lyrics to words, which I am not any of those things.
Maud is terrible at knowing lyrics.
I am pretty
bad. And who's the person you probably wouldn't want to sort of watch dance for a while?
Oh, I'm not sure. I actually have no idea. Probably myself. Like, I wouldn't want to watch me dancing.
It's a shame that Sarah Hunter's left, because actually she'd be a go-to on that answer, wouldn't she?
Well, she is actually there, but don't see her dance as much nowadays.
Yeah, their management clipboard's too heavy to dance nowadays.
Yeah,
how was she? How is that different?
Yeah, she's been really good, to be fair. I don't think she wasn't expecting to be in that, like, as involved as she was, and she's been really good, and like she will make sure that if you have a question, you will get an answer, and I think that's been really good. And the personability, yeah, that word, and like she gets it. So I think it's been really good to have her in the coaching staff, to be fair.
Good on, obviously, Lewis Diggins, sort of interim head coach, and John Mitchell just sort of, I wouldn't say floating around, but sort of more of a backseat driver than anything else in this tournament.
Yeah, to be fair, he's been really nice, and like has already made himself well known and like knows everyone's names. He definitely didn't need to know everyone's names because he didn't know us, but I thought that was a really nice part, and like he's asking questions about all of us. So he like really cares about us already, and I think I'm just really excited to work with him in the Six Nations as well, because he really has high ambition. So I think it should be really good.
Where did you two meet? Oh, geez, memorable.
Under
then.
18 TDD.
We weren't that friends.
No.
We weren't
No,
even
actually,
that
Maud.
good friends at Wasps, were we?
No, so Maud was in under 20s, but she was in there a year earlier, so she was still eligible for under 18s, and she came down to play a game when I was in under 18s. I think that was the first time I met Maud, and then I went to Wasp, and yeah, we wasn't even like best of friends at Wasp. I think it was only really once I moved to Loughborough and went into England when I was in Loughborough that our friendship blossomed.
We were friends.
We were friends, yeah. No, we wasn't as tight knit as we are now.
What's her best quality, Maud?
Sads. I love her laugh.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah.
Her laugh, and I don't know. It's just a nice gal.
And as a player?
Blushing.
Oh, I think Sads is the best player, honestly. I am the biggest fangirl, aren't I?
More, yeah, she is. I love it.
But I'd have to say, being in a double tackle with Sadia Kabeya, oh my gosh, that is the best feeling. We used to do it quite a bit at Wasps, but
we did. Got a few picks.
The day we do it at England is the day we succeed in life.
I love
Brilliant.
that.
Sadly, she's going to have to wait another year to be the best player on the planet, because that's Marley Packer. We've already discussed that.
Awkward.
The other way around, Sadia. What is Maud's best character as a human being and as a red rose?
Maud's best characteristic, I think it's just Maud's energy. Maud just brings like good energy in whatever she's doing. Like, you know, when Maud walks into a room, automatically the room is lighter. There's daisies and butterflies floating around. So I think definitely my favorite thing about Maud is just her energy. The energy she brings. And the best thing about Maud as a player, her best quality, has to be her ball carrying. Absolute bulldozer. I mean, you do not want to be on the opposite end of Maud on the charge. I feel like when we see each other on the pitch, we kind of have like a moment of freezing before. I never want to go full pout at Maud, and I feel like Maud is the same. But I would not be. I want to be on. I try not to anyway. But on the end of a Maud, Bosch is what I'm going to call it.
A Bosch.
A Bosch. Bosch.
There you go. And still so much more to come from both of you. The only other question I was going to ask was just about WXV, sort of as a whole. Look, this women's rugby is embryonic, really, and this tournament is been put out there. Sadia and I have discussed little sort of bumps in the road that it's having. From a player's perspective on the ground, what was it like to play, and what was the vibe around it? Was it a little bit different? You said that you sort of went out and saw the other girls. That's a little bit sevens in that sort of context of sort of all staying around together. What was WXV one like?
I think it's going to be really good just to be able to play the top teams. Like, that is such a good thing for us. And I think also for other teams to play teams at their level is another good thing. It's not just about the top teams. It's about all of the teams in the competing in like the World Cup tiers or whatever. But yeah, it was really nice to like be around the teams like for 4 weeks, because you do get to know them, and hopefully like those friendships or whatever develop, because it is really, I really get like that the Sevens girls are all friends with other countries. Like, it's really nice to do that sort of thing. The only thing is that I don't know if this is WXV or it being played in New Zealand, but the crowds were not great. I don't know why. Like, I don't really know the reasons behind that. I don't know if it's because the Men's World Cup, because there was the World Cup last year in there. I'm not sure. But it was kind of like, it felt really downhill because there was literally no one in the crowds.
Yep. Yeah,
we have discussed this.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, on previous episodes. Yeah, it was really saddening from going from whatever 68,500
Yeah.
at Twickers and what have you, and even during the World Cup, some really good luck. I think that's something that needs to be worked on. Whether we're in England or France for the next WXV next year, those are the whispers on the street. That's where it's going to be. So I can't see it being here with the World Cup the year after.
Yeah.
But France would be very cool. So it's good to get to know the other girls and your WXV. Where's the ceiling of your career then, Maud? Because I mean, you've already been in a World Cup final, but you won WXV one. You won a Premiership. There's nothing left to complete in rugby, is there?
I think, well, obviously there's the World Cup. That is a massive thing that I want to win. And then I think probably just more personally, like I want to be consistently starting. I want to be the best prop in the world. Like I want to be smashing and like dominant in scrums, but also be able to play on the pitch. And yeah, I think I want at least in the next year or so, be playing a bit more. Like even if I'm still off the bench, getting more minutes off the bench. Like I really like being an impact player, but getting more minutes is obviously everyone wants to have more minutes in you. So that's kind of personally, but definitely I think Sards will say the same thing. World Cup, we want to win, and to have it at home, like that will be incredible.
So what you're saying is by the age of 24 you're going to retire because you would have done it all and won the World Cup at home and all that. Ticked all the boxes.
Yeah,
Maud, that's absolutely brilliant. Anything else from you, Sadia? Anything else? Question or two?
2025 World Cup's coming home. That's it.
Yeah.
No more questions.
I have got a question for Sadia.
Oh,
go on then. Yeah,
do you want to
nice.
reply to me on WhatsApp?
Oh, so much. I have been MIA, trust me.
Right, I'll think.
Yeah, FaceTime. Me and Maud's friendship ends after this call.
Wow. There it is. Live on the WRP. Friendships breaking down. You're not the only one, Maud.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you're not the only
Yeah,
one.
I'll take about a day to reply to Johnnie.
And that's
Not
not even looked at WhatsApp, not even seen that one, but it's Insta we go through. But anyway, communication, there you are. There's something else to work on. Been a real pleasure to have you on tonight. I really, really appreciate your time. Congratulations. Rest up. And then straight back into the full circus next week, is it?
Yeah, we're not playing next week because
You've got to buy, haven't you, first round? Yeah.
So, yeah. But yeah, straight back into it.
And return a trophy.
Hopefully, yeah.
Really so. Great stuff. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me.
I'm Lydia Thompson, and you're listening to the amazing, world-class Women's Rugby Pod.
And that is an embarrassment of riches, Sadia. And I know I'm grouping you within this as young Red Roses with at least one, if not two, if not possibly 3 World Cups left in you. That is some squad of real youth now. You look at the Bottomans, okay, Sarah Burns sort of moving into that experience sort of remit now. It's Maud Muir's, the Rosie Gallagher's, Maisie Allen's, yourself. It's an impressive bunch and will be for some time yet.
Definitely is, and you know, England, they're very, very smart in what they're doing. Obviously, we're building towards 2025 now and towards the future. And yeah, we're going through a bit of a regeneration phase, but we have, yeah, like you said, an embarrassment of riches, strength all throughout the squad. You know, from 1 to 40 when we're in a full squad. So yeah, it is very, very exciting, and also it only makes us better because there's so much competition. Because there's no one who's really there's no one who's there just for the ride along. Everyone's there fighting for that shirt, and everyone, in an alternate universe could be starting. So yeah, it's really great right now.
Yeah, it really is. And she is some players, Maud Muir. Maybe very affable, smiley off the field, but on the field, she's a very, very different animal. Very like you, in fact, in that respect.
Yeah.
And she quoted your laugh, which I couldn't agree with her more. Of course, England-New Zealand wasn't the only game going on at the weekend from wXV1. The other two games, we will talk about Australia-Wales in the next part of the show. Sadia, let's have a look at France against Canada. 20 points to 29. Canada won. Who's right on their predictions?
You were right, Johnny.
Is that true?
You're right. Yeah, no, I think I went with France.
Yeah, I do. Bodo Sansus, Raymond Manager, Morgan Bourgois, Emily Totosi, Shinfield to Holtkamp, Muniz with the tries, Duguay with a penalty, and 3 conversions. It's a strange game for me because France raced out of the traps. We're 10-0 up before Canada could even blink.
I mean, from the start of the game, I definitely thought France were going to keep their foot on the gas from how they came out on the blocks, but I don't really know what happened, to be honest. I don't think it was a particular thing that swung, and then all of a sudden, Canada in the game. But yeah,
we talk about, don't we? And there was that score we just spoken about with England, New Zealand, but before half time. But England were sort of able to sort of stem the flow. But that Totosi tried just before half time. They're going to the sheds. Look, we're in touch distance here.
Yeah.
And I just get the sense with Canada, the core of that group have been together for a very, very long time. They almost remind me of Scotland like that. That group know each other inside out, and actually they didn't want to walk away from WXV with another loss. And those 12 unanswered points at the beginning of the second half, the game's pretty much done and dusted, apart from a late wag of the tail from France.
Canada, yeah, you're so right. Obviously they only get small bits of time together where they can, but obviously coming off the back of Pack 4 and then coming into this tournament, I think it's probably the longest, and then the 2 warm-up games against England, I think it's the longest time they've had together as a group, and clearly the more time they spend together, the more they build, the more they come together as a team, and I think that really shows in their performances, and with their performances over WXV, I think they really were building. So, I mean, your prediction was probably the more smarter prediction, but I thought maybe France would have, a better day than they did. But yeah, Canada really, really going from strength to strength at the moment.
Yeah, and somebody very wise spoke about that time together that Canada have, and they get better and better. But for France, it is natural, isn't it, at the end of a World Cup to sort of change that cycle, and new players are coming in and what have you. Some players got off to sevens as well. So I think they're just feeling their way with a few new caps. There's a few new players in that back row. Fly half as well, just beginning to feel her way. They'll come good again, France, right, for the Six Nations?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, they're by no means any less of a team, a good team. Obviously, they had that result against New Zealand early on, coming away with that win, which was a great performance from them. Obviously, coming off the back of a loss is kind of unheard of, or not very expected for France. But yeah, they still are a very, very talented team, and yeah, I think, like you said, a lot of moving parts at the moment. But yeah, I'm sure by the time Six Nation comes, be back in camp together, they'll be flying fit and be quite a force to reckon with again.
If you were in sort of in both camps this week, would you think that WXV has been a success for both, in light of France, as you say, beating the Black Ferns for the first time ever, Canada obviously winning against Wales, France ranked higher than them? No, one below them.
One below, yeah. It's never nice to come away with a loss, and I'm sure both teams came into the tournament wanting to come away with three 3 wins. But yeah, like Canada, they are building so strongly at the moment. Their key their key players are really on form. Sophie Dugudi, you know, just an amazing player. Sarah Spade, obviously, shout out my Lightning teammate, really coming into her own around the park, and just a lot of their players are really clicking at the moment. So, and to come away with 2 really good wins in the tournament, I think it's definitely great for them. And France, I think huge things for them. Obviously, a lot of new people, but still going back to that Black Ferns win, like people did not think that was going to happen, and it was really a great performance for them. Obviously, 2 losses after that, but they're still. It wasn't like they were run over or anything, or they got 50 points put on them. They were 2 tight games, but I think definitely very positive performances and positive tournaments, both of them. In different ways, Canada are building strength to strength, whereas France, when they're finding their feet a bit again. So
later down the line, wXV one next year, and then obviously going to World Cup 2025. Yeah, these kind of psychological edges are going to help. The fact that France have beaten the Black Ferns, the fact that Canada know that they can beat France, and you suspect that the player group won't be particularly different for either. Let's get you up to date with the news, shall we, from around the world?
So really exciting news here in the UK with the PWR, the Premiership Women's Rugby, will be shown on TNT Sports, a landmark agreement that will see more than 20 matches broadcasted live on linear and digital platforms this season.
That is some of the most significant news. Certainly not just here, but around the world. Jump on my little soapbox about broadcasts and all the rest of it quite often. It is huge. I was very lucky to work at Sky Sports for 20 plus years. And that TV channel turned the Heineken Cup into a huge global superstar of a tournament. And everybody wanted to watch it and everybody wanted to play in it. And players literally came to play in the Heineken Cup. You've got a proper broadcast partner that understands the game and understands how to broadcast, which TNT and their production company Buzz 16 do. And if they don't, believe you me, they'll hear from me. We'll do it properly. Yeah. And it's huge.
Yeah, no, it is huge, and it's really exciting, especially coming from a player as well. Obviously, last year we had a few games which were broadcasted here and there, but now to be in a fully signed deal, and I think Loughborough's first game against Leicester is going to be broadcasted double header, which is going to be a great game to watch. It's just so exciting, and it just adds that extra layer of excitement to the game, and for new fans to be able to come in and enjoy the sport and find out what women's rugby can do and what we can do. It's a great a great movement in the right direction, I think.
Yep, still stuff to do, but look, enough, because we will have CEO of PWR Belinda Moore on next week's show. The Rugby Awards were done not in a swanky opera house with black tie and free booze everywhere and international performances and what have you. And I've heard from somebody on the ground that said it was actually embarrassing, the awards for the women's.
Oh dear.
And we waited a week last year. The men, that's not been the same this year. So if we're doing everything fairly 50-50 World Rugby, then have a long hard look at yourself. But Marley Packer is the best player on the planet. The best player on the planet.
The best player in the world. I mean, she is so deserving of that. So deserving. I think it's been a long time coming from Marley, to be honest. I think there's been loads of years she could have won it. And I remember on the interview, I don't know when I watched it maybe last year, that she said, I think I'm past the point of winning these big awards, like World Player of the Year. What I want to do is just get better and better for my country. So to see her win it now when she thought it was kind of out of her reach, it's so good to see.
Yeah, and do you know what? She's on the pod next week too.
Woo!
Yeah, full house. We're going to speak to the best player on the planet. next week. Marley Packer, like a fine Bordeaux, she's just getting better and better with age. Breakthrough player of the year is Caitlin Fahakolo from New Zealand. Young wing, actually very, very good indeed. Try of the year, Sophia Stefan. Ireland game in the Six Nations. And the team of the year. Let's just run. I don't know who the judging panel is for this, Sadia. Nobody in sports media I know. But anyway, so let's go 1 to 15. Murray for New Zealand, Akin Davis and Byrne Allcroft from England. Roos in the second row with Allcroft. She's a black fern. Then it's Matthews and England, McKelly Tu'u from New Zealand at 8. Bourdon Sansus from France, Dement at 10, Dow on one wing, Ruby Tui on the other wing, Vernier from France and Duplessis for New Zealand in the centres with Ellie Kildun at fullback.
Quite a team. That is. USA Women have announced their new coach, Sione Fukufaka, fresh from 3 years as assistant coach and the Wallaroos, but coached at lots of different levels of the game, which is helpful in the USA development landscape. So really exciting for them.
Yeah, and I'm pleased about that. We've seen with Martin Hagen in Scotland, coached at different levels, different places. It obviously broadens your knowledge, and that seems like a positive move for USA.
I'm Alicia Butchers, and you're listening to the Women's Rugby Pod.
The final game we need to speak about from WXV1 final round was Australia against Wales, 25-19, the Wallaroos won. It's marked a good campaign from them, back-to-back victories over France and Wales. Let's get into that game. But it's two teams who do struggle with their discipline. And Wales got pinged off the part, especially that first 40. Another red card. And valid. And they did all of that with 14 players. Sadia Kabeya Polo started for a high shot on Jasmine Joyce. Then they reduced down to 13 around the 60-minute mark, I think it was. And they rallied. Kapani and Kramer scored. Kelsey Jones managed to get a try back to set up a very tense finish. But Australia held on. One of those benefactors, aren't they? We spoke about the Scotlands and the Irelands and Spain and what have you in previous weeks as those two tournaments have finished up. But Australia, I suspect, okay, you want to win the thing, but will probably be one of the happiest teams in the WXV1, right? To compete against those guys and to pick up a couple of wins, 2 wins out of 3.
For Australia, considering, their discipline and the red cards and the yellow cards, they have put out really, really strong performances against, like you said, really strong sides, coming away with 2 out of 3 wins, and even against England, showing, what they can do. And I've said it on previous podcasts, but there's always moments of flair with Australia. It's just about them, putting those last 2-3 steps together once they get into the 22, or being a bit more patient, I think, towards those last 2 games. We definitely have seen, that Australia, where they do have that bit of patience, they do have that, like, hold up a minute, let's see what we're doing here, and come away with the points that they needed. And like you said, they went down to 13 men and still managed to come away with that win. That's not the sign of a good side, or a side becoming, very, very strong. I don't know what is. And, Wales they're no weak team. They always go to the last minute as well. So, yeah, I mean, very, very, very positive for Australia.
Yeah, and there's investment there. Super W is kicking on. It's properly invested in, and this Wallaroos side now as well. For many years, it's been about the sevens, isn't it, for Australian women, because they have been so successful and always in the medal hunt at Olympics and on the World Series and what have you. I just wonder whether that's going to possibly flick back, and you might see a Charlotte Kaslik or a Levi coming, Demi Hayes, these kind of players coming into 15s.
Who knows? I mean, I always find that interesting because sometimes, in some cases, sevens players don't really shine as much as they do when they're 15 stage they do in sevens. You know, Ruby Chewy did it really, really well coming into the Black Ferns. You know, she still had that presence. But yeah, it will be interesting. Who knows?
Stacey Flula isn't who seamlessly goes from 15s to sevens. Oh, what a player she is. Anyway, first time they met outside of a World Cup, Australia Wales. Honestly, I don't waste my evenings. I can tell you. So that's about it. wXV is wrapped up. First ever inaugural. Let's say just give you opinions sort of it as a whole. But I think we've probably picked up the points to which we feel need the belt tightening a little bit. Certainly the sort of general marketing on the ground around the world, the timing of it. Anything else to add to that?
No, I think like you said, we've kind of touched on the things that we'll definitely get better in future years. But like you said, the first tournament, I think in terms of international rugby, you know, it's been a great success. Obviously a new exciting tournament. You get new viewers, you get new people watching it. I think for me it's been great to see, and great to see a lot of new rugby on show. But like as you said, a lot of things to clean up. But obviously for the first tournament, very, very happy with that.
And I kind of like the idea that potentially, why couldn't you have all three tournaments in one country if you're choosing the countries right, and almost have a little bit like they did with the World Cup? You could almost have a WXV 3, 2 and 1 match, double headers or whatever, and everybody in the same country. That would seem to make sense to me.
You should send an email to World Rugby, Johnny.
Oh, but I can't move for them. I can't move for them, Sadia. I can't move for them. Why not? And if it is going to be in France, that would be sensational.
And my mum said the exact same thing to me.
Yeah. Those crowds would be brilliant, and great grounds, lots of different varied sized grounds and what have you, all over the country, and they would go mad for it. So yeah, that about wraps up WRP. It's great to hear from Maud Muir, your bestie, and I suspect we'll be straight into WhatsApp as soon as this recording is finished.
Straight onto FaceTime.
Straight onto FaceTime. Yeah, she got a live scolding on the WRP. We've never had one of those before. That was tremendous. And London the weekend, last weekend. Where's this weekend?
This weekend, I'm staying in Loughborough. I think I'm done globetrotting for now. My rehab is ramping up extremely. I am looking at my schedule like, oh, you have booked too many things in. So this will be my last weekend being busy, because I'm busy in Loughborough, up in the Midlands. But then, more focusing on rehab now. So.
And when are we? Not an exact date, but when roughly are we back? Can we expect to see in the sort of first 2, 3, 4 rounds?
Yes, hoping to be back for the second round of the Prem. We're supposed to be playing Worcester, so hopefully be back for the third round of the Prem.
Oh, that's kind of worked out quite well then.
Yeah, annoyingly, I'm not playing, but definitely for the best. You know, another week under my belt, get a bit more confident. So yeah, that definitely has worked out, I think, for the best.
And what's week 3? I'm testing it now.
Leicester away. It's actually a double header with the men. So quite exciting.
Oh, look at that, ladies and gentlemen. She's all over it. She's all over the schedule for Loughborough. And Loughborough are going to be competitive this season.
Yes.
More competitive than people think. So you were saying to me earlier.
Yes, definitely. Nathan, our new head coach, come in and he's really, turned us into a great direction coming into the Prem, in the Cup, obviously coming away with 2 wins, and really strong performances. And I think as a whole, he kind of knows what Lightning needs to do. I think for the past couple of years, everyone always says on paper, Lightning should be performing really well. So I think this year we're going to be putting those paper stats actually onto the pitch.
Nice. That's fighting talk where I come from, that is.
It is.
Brilliant. So recovery's ramping up. You're enough for the weekend. For now, I mean, I'd like to carry on with you co-hosting some WRPs. Is this something you would entertain? Sadia
Yes,
Kabeya?
of course.
Awesome. Now, other people are going to be fighting it out for that co-host chair. But we'll definitely get you back in the chair. It's been a real delight and pleasure to have you on. Have you enjoyed this little foray into? Please don't tell anyone what goes on behind the scenes.
It's absolute carnage. No, I've so enjoyed it. And coming at a time when I've been a little bit less busy and not playing, it's been it's been great.
Great stuff. Well, outside of your predictions, you've been outstanding.
Thank you. You can't. No one can be perfect.
No, indeed not. Well, look, have a great weekend. We will speak to you very, very soon. Good luck with those final few weeks of rehab. And I'll say once again, it's been a real pleasure.
Thank you.